Hi, my name is Mark Kempton. I'm the fire chief for the city of Dilworth. And we're here to talk to you tonight about our Dilworth Fire Hall and some of our shortcomings that we have here at the fire hall. When we moved into the fire hall in 1982, we initially moved into just this portion of the building here that you see, which is just our apparatus bay, an office, and then a storage closet. We didn't have the extra training room that you'll eventually see later in the video. That was added in 1997. During this time, from 1982 till 2022, our trucks have grown over the years, and we've kind of outgrown our fire hall here and outgrown the space that we currently have. And you'll see that as we take the tour through the fire hall. We've also had several deficiencies that have gone on throughout the 40 years of service of this building, with large cracks in the floors. We have air coming up from underneath our garage doors. We have our walk-in door that sometimes locks, sometimes doesn't lock. So there's a lot of shortcomings within our facility here that we do have. And I'm ready to take you on a tour right now of those shortcomings. And we'll start off by our office, which we often refer to as our multi-purpose room, because we do so many other things in this room other than just being an office. So as we enter the office here, this does a variety of different things. This office serves as the chief's office. It serves as the Relief Association office. It serves as our radio room. And this is also where we store our personnel files. And as you can see, this is not the best place to have all of those types of things going on all at one time. The chief is not able to have any type of a private conversation in this room, because we have a window right there and everybody can see who he'd be conversing with. When there's a fire call, this room is filled with firefighters on standby waiting for their assignment. As you can see, for the tight quarters it in, we had some struggles during COVID in this office, and it made it very difficult to be able to operate during COVID, and it also makes it difficult just to do our day-to-day operations because of how tight the space is. As we move out, we'll go over to a storage closet, which is right next door. This again is another multi-purpose room. It started off as just a storage closet that contained our hot water heater and some maybe mops and brooms. But now, as you can see, it's got our brooms, our mops, our hot water heater. It also has our extractor, which is something that we're able to use to wash our turnout gear after a fire call, so we're able to get some of those carcinogens off of our turnout gear as well. And we do store some stuff on top of that, which is not the best way to store this stuff, but it's what we have. And as we stand here in this large area that we're in, kind of the open bay, this is an area that we will wash all of our turnout gear, just get most of the insulation and all of the gunk off our turnout gear, so to speak, before we put it in the extractor. And then we also will wash our air packs off, we'll wash our boots off, all right here in this area. So if you're familiar with hazmat terms, there's always a hot zone, a warm zone, and a cold zone. This entire area is a hot zone from the time we get back to to the fire hall to the time we get our stuff cleaned off. And as we're doing that, we're walking through soot water. We're bringing that soot water back into our own personal vehicles. We're bringing it back to our homes. We're bringing we're bringing all those carcinogens back to our own homes, into our own washer and dryer, where you put it in the same clothes. You put it in with the same clothes as your family. So there's a lot of issues here when we're doing things like that. So it's another large shortcoming that we have. We also have floor heat in the building, but we don't know if it works. And the reason we don't know if it works is there's just a large crack that runs from about the office all the way over to the second bay of our building. So it makes it very, very difficult. The other thing that kind of constrains us is when this building was built, we have 3 garage door bays, but 2 of the bays are 14 feet wide and 1 is 12 feet wide, which makes it difficult to try and figure out how we're going to have our truck set up inside the building itself. So we can only set it up the way you see it right now with the 2 engines, the 2 tankers, and then our wildland truck and our rescue truck. It's the only way we're able to have the truck set up in the building. As we walk to the other side of the building, you'll see as we walk in between the trucks, there's very, very little space to walk. So this does get to be a little bit, difficult at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're tired. You've had very little sleep and you're trying to get in here for a fire call. You've got very little space to move and maneuver through here. As we come over to the other side, a couple areas of concerns here. One is we have very little space back there, so we're not even able to walk around the backside of our engine there. As you can see, the exhaust from the trucks, they come out the passenger side and they blow the exhaust right onto the turnout gear. And as they're blowing that exhaust onto the turnout gear, that's carcinogens that's being blown onto that turnout gear. As we move forward to this angle, with people that are trying to put their turnout gear on early morning hours, you can see there's not a lot of room between where they're putting their turnout gear on and where the truck is coming through. So there's a concern that somebody may potentially get hit one day. We've been very fortunate. It has not happened. And as you can see, this configuration right here has been set up for 40 years. And we've been very lucky that that hasn't happened. But when you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're tired, sometimes maybe a little confused, we have a potential of somebody getting injured here. It does concern me. We'll walk over to where our cascade system is now, and what the cascade system is it's what we use to fill our air bottles with. And as you can see, as we're walking over here, we have a lot of tripping hazards. We have a hose laid out on the floor here. The reason this hose is here is because our hydrant that we fill our trucks with is leaking. So we have to have a hose here to direct the water to one of our drains in the floor. We also have our cascade system. This is what we use to fill our air bottles with. As you can see, it's in the same area as our apparatus floor here. So we have diesel fumes that are in the air is the same area as your cascade system, which isn't good. This should be in its own separate room with positive pressure blowing out so nothing else can come in. This here is where we're getting our current outside air. So it's hooked up to our cascade system. As far as right now, we don't feel it has any leaks. It's been tested. We don't have any leaks, but we also wouldn't know until we had put an air bottle on. So that's an area of concern as well. At the back of the truck here, again, be careful for this tripping hazard with this bumper. Reason that bumper has to be there, it has to stop the truck before it runs into these blue storage cabinets. And these blue storage cabinets do store some Relief Association documents, old turnout gear that we're able to issue to others that are joining the department. But as you can see, there's only about 2 to 3 inches of space back here. So we can't get into that cabinet without moving the truck out first. And these cabinets have been backed into before, just because of how close it is and how tight it is in here. So from here we can move over to where our hose dryers and turnout gear dryers are at. And this area here, this is where we walk back into our training room. And as you can see, we have our 2 racks of hose storage, which kind of makes your walk back a little tight. And then we also have our hose dryer right here. And again, this is something that we have to put our fire hose in after we get done cleaning it. It's tight. You can't really effectively do anything while this truck is here. It doesn't work that well. So this truck has to be moved out before we can do anything with this cabinet. And as we get back here, we have our hose washer. This we move out and we put over a drain and we wash our hose. And once we get done washing the hose, we have to drain it. So we open it up to drain, and sometimes the drain doesn't keep up, so the water will go out onto the floor where we're all standing. And again, we're getting that sooty water on our feet, and we're bringing that back into our own residence and things like that. So again, more carcinogens on your person and in your house. And then this is another area where we can store our floor cleaner. Again, this is really the only area we have to store it. And there's another view over there, how tight it really is in the fire hall there with that truck so close to the wall. And as we have right here, this is our turnout gear dryer. So once we get done washing it, we're able to put our turnout gear in here. This we are able to gain access to from this area here, but if there's more than 2 people trying to do it, it still gets tight back here. As you can see, we have spots for 5. So this is our air compressor. It causes us some areas of concern at times. Reason being is when we're trying to have a training in the next room that we're going to go into, this will fire up and this is very loud. And we need to have this in here because 4 of our trucks run off of air brakes, but 2 of them have an electric compressor on the truck itself, and 2 of them have to get their air from this compressor right here. And it's been here for about 30 years, and the lines have been there for about 30 years, so they're starting to leak a little bit too, so we're not getting the best to our air brakes as well. So as we go back here, we have a little bit of training going on in progress, so it's going to be, you'll be able to see how tight it is in there for everybody, but we'll hit on the restroom area out here, and then our kitchen area that we do have. I just want to note that all the cabinetry you see in here, the showers, the stoves, everything like that, that's all been repurposed from the 96-97 flood. We were able to go into some of the flood homes and take some of this stuff out of there, and then we were able to repurpose them into our fire hall. Our first furnace and air conditioner that we had back here also was from repurposed flood homes as well. So you see the restroom is right here. And again, all this has been repurposed from 96-97 flood homes. So we'll go back here to the training area. As you can see, our training area is rather tight the way we have everything set up in here. This was difficult for us during COVID. Obviously, we still had to train, we still had to do our work, but we weren't able to socially distance. We weren't able to do what we needed to do for the COVID mandates, as you can see with everybody sitting in this area right here. We'll make our way towards the back here for some other storage. And again, all these cabinets that you see here, all repurposed from the 97 or 96-97 flood. This is an area that we have, it's just extra storage. We do fundraisers and things like that throughout the year, and then we do some community events throughout the year, so we always have to have our large coolers and things like that for that. So it's just extra storage that we're able to have. Then we do have extra storage that goes upstairs here. I would just ask that nobody goes up there because there's a large steel beam that runs across, and I've hit my head a couple times on it because there's only about 3.5 to 4 feet of clearance, so you're going to hit your head on it. And that's just more storage for us up there. And then, as you can see, this is also a multi-purpose room. Everything we have here is a multi-purpose room. It's a kitchen, it's a training room, and it's a workout room. So this is where everybody comes to work out and tries to stay in shape to be able to serve our community. I want to try and hit a door back here to see if we can get it open or not. So as you can see with this door goes to the outside, and it would serve as a fire exit door if something were to happen in our building. But as you can see right here, we can't get that door open right now. It's unable to open up because the concrete heaves up so bad in the wintertime that it's now kept that door permanently shut and closed. I couldn't even shoulder this door open, and I wouldn't even want to attempt to shoulder this door open because I'm sure I would probably injure myself in doing so. So it's very, very difficult. So the Dilworth Fire Department currently has 30 firefighters. We're considered a paid on-call fire department, so we don't get reimbursed until we come up here for that call for service. We currently serve 4 townships and 2 cities. We serve the city of Dilworth and the city of Georgetown, and then we serve Moorhead Township, Cragness Township, Oakport Township, and then a portion of Morkin Township as well. We also have an automatic mutual aid agreement with every fire department within Clay County, so this would be a regional type facility. It just wouldn't be for the area that we serve. It would be for the entire county. So the total project cost for this is $6.5 million, and our request to our state legislators is $3.2 million to help us out with this project. We did get $975,000 from the federal government for this project, so we're hoping the state of Minnesota is able to help us with the $3.2 million. And then the other $2.3 million would be picked up from our city here through a bond that we would attempt to do. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and we'd really appreciate your support on this project.
My name's Scott Payne. I've been a resident of Dilworth since 1979, and I've been on the fire department 18 years. What it means to me to be on the fire department is to serve the community and provide services for not only our area, but surrounding towns. Having a new fire hall would do a couple of things in my mind. It would, in this day and age, we have trouble, rounding up volunteer firefighters for this type of service because it's a lot of training, a lot of nights away from home, but then again, a lot of reward. But that would be a beacon to bring in new firefighters into our station. And also, we're in a station that's getting really aged. And the big thing in the fire department or fire service now is carcinogens and firefighter cancer situations due to the chemicals we're exposed to. In our situation in this fire hall, we do not have those safeguards for bringing and dragging those chemicals home. Those chemicals are not discriminative. They get attached to everything, clothes, hair, you name it. You drag it from here. If you do not clean up here, you drag it into your car, you contaminate your car, you go home, you take off your clothes, you wash it in your washing machine there, it gets contaminated, then it spreads throughout your house. There are special situations. My kids have cystic fibrosis, and I don't want to be bringing those things home to those kids because they're immunocompromised. And it just adds a level of unsafe activity that could be prevented by having things like extractors and areas to change and shower and launder our clothes here rather than taking those carcinogens home to our families.